offensive foul, and it was called because of the pressure by T.J. Pugh, a young man that Roy calls probably the most consistent defensive player that he's ever had here.
Young man who's playing with a bit of an ankle injury. They say he's about 70%, but the last couple of possessions for Iowa, Kansas has done a great job exerting heavy defensive pressure, and the Hawkeyes really haven't been able to get a good look at the basket.
The foul was on Luersman. It's his first, and the third team foul against Iowa in this early going. Turnaround jumper won't go. That's Pugh. And he has only played in 3 games because of a fracture to his ankle. He missed the preseason. And Boshi has been bombing from outside. It's the first one that he's hit. First 3 for him.
Boy, Roy Williams looked just as mad as if he'd missed the shot.
15-10. Jeff Boshi, true freshman out of Valley City, North Dakota. First true freshman to start here at KU since Jacques Vaughn. You see he gets the steal and ahead to Gregory for the jam.
Gregory, that's his 4th basket in transition tonight, Ron. He's really running the court very, very effectively.
You're right on. He's got 8 points, and everyone has been on the break, on the transition.
Too much dribbling by Dean Oliver out there.
T.J. Pugh almost came up with the takeaway.
And one of the problems, Ron, I talk about how Dean Oliver's doing a little too much dribbling, and Oliver's going to come out and Price is going to go back in. The Kansas defense has done a nice job denying the passes that Oliver's wanted to make, so he's had to dribble the ball. Solid half-court defense by the Jayhawks.
Bouncer inside in the paint, and they can't do anything with it. Joey Range, big fella, he's a freshman, 6'5", 200.
And
no basket.
Ron, again, they pass the ball inbounds, and he just dribbles it around and down the lane. Against a defense that plays like Kansas, you're not going to be able to take the ball from that far away all the way to the hoop. One of those white shirts is going to be waiting for you, and it was Gregory.
Range first foul on him, and it's the 4th team foul on the Hawkeyes. Just over 13 minutes to play in his opening half. Ball's going to go back to Iowa, as touched last by Pugh there on the sideline.
Iowa in a zone defense, that time down the court. They've been mixing it up. Jess Settles, who started the game, hurt an ankle, came back, and now he's on the bench taking a little blow.
He went back to the locker room. We'll show you the injury in just a moment when we get an opportunity. You see the turnovers, Iowa with 6 and KU with 4. And again, it was Pugh who called the jump ball.
Jess Settles back after a 2-year absence because of a back injury. Running down the court is just going to step on Eric Chenoweth and turn that ankle. They took him off. They checked him out. They decided he was okay, and he's back.
6-year player. 3 years ago, he was an all Big Ten player, but because of injuries to his back, he has really had a lot of problems, and they was granted a 6th year and is back. KU on a 7-0 run. They made their last 4 field goals to make it 17-10.
Ron, and this is a Kansas team that thus far this year has struggled offensively. During Roy Williams' tenure, Kansas teams has averaged almost 85 points a game. This team averaging under 70, so looking good for them to get their offensive confidence. And what kind of a shot was that?
Koch was just trying to draw the foul, and he knocked it down. He got it to go.
Oh, that's a big-time pick right there. Price gets up pretty quickly.
Price going to tell his teammates, talk to me. Pugh is about twice the size of him. Oh, nice look inside, and Pugh scored the basket to him, but give Kenny Gregory a great assist on the play.
Iowa really likes to push it up the court. Both of these teams enjoy the transition. Man-to-man for Kansas. And Ron, look how far away from the basket Iowa's running the offense with 15 seconds left in the shot clock.
Nice look inside. That's Jakes. He was fouled.
Jakes, big guy, 6'8", 235 pounds. Actually looks bigger than that. Couple of high screens, and then Jakes just rolls to the basket, and Gregory comes in trying to force the jump ball, but gets Jakes across the arm.
First foul on London, fourth team foul on Kansas.
You're right, Ron. That is London, not Gregory.
Jakes, very good free throw shooter, 81%. Tough kid. He and Lursman are both out of Cedar Rapids. Didn't play at the same high school, but know each other well. Played in all-star teams together. Misses this one. Could see the sky for the rebound by Kenny Gregory. A lot of people call him the Louis and Jake show. And at the other end, it's the Eric Chenoweth show as the big fella jams at home. And offensively, he's off to a good night. He's got 6.
And that's a break right there for Iowa. Price trying to push the ball up is going to get fouled by Bochy. Ron, I'll tell you what, Chenoweth has really benefited from this transition game. Right there, Robertson attacks the basket, and even though he just throws the ball up, Koch had to go help out. Nobody blocked out Chenoweth, and the big guy showing you that running the court usually is rewarded.
Big foul right there because it's the second on Bochy. And it means he's going to have to come to the bench for a time. Terry Nooner, Jr. out of Raytown, Missouri, will check in. And he normally is a guy who comes in and spells him for a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes at a time. But Bochy may have to sit for a little bit longer than that with 11:30 to play.
Ron, and we said Kansas has been playing extremely well in transition. You don't really notice the point guard if he's just passing the ball ahead. But we'll wait and see what that affects.
So let's take a break. 11:30 left until halftime. 21-15. TJ Pugh. They're glad he's back at both ends of the floor.
Live to run? Get the wired running shoe and all the latest athletic wear from Adidas at Champ Sports.
In a long history of exceptional cars from Audi. The Audi A6.
Big Bob's exterminating. Spiders? Oh, we do spiders. Scorpions? I love the challenge. Centipedes? Centipedes are our speciality. The queen centipede. Bring her on.
The bugs are back. Centipede on CD-ROM. Take on 5 all-new worlds or play classic style. Get your hands on Centipede for PC CD-ROM.
Maybe we could talk about this?
Kansas leads at 21-15. Bochy just had to go to the bench with his second foul. Dan, one of the things that, as far as this KU team is concerned, 54 points. They lost with the Prince, Billy Thomas gone, and also Paul Pierce. And that's a big mountain to climb as far as filling in.
Ron, that's a huge chunk, but this is a good basketball team. They're doing it a little bit differently this year, but they're still 5-1, and they've got the transition game going tonight.
KU 18 of 21 points have come in the paint, except for Bochy's three-pointer. That's it.
Well, Ron, sometimes that's a stat that denotes the teams are playing powerfully, that they're getting the ball inside to the big guys. Kansas, they're in the lane area, but it's all off fast breaks. So it's really been very much a transition game for the Jayhawks. They haven't had to set up in the half-court offense too much, and they throw it away out of the half-court set right there. So
turnover against the Jayhawks, and that's turnover number 6. Tipped by Chenoweth. Now they fight for the ball just outside the paint. Ryan Robertson goes on the floor for it, and a jump ball finally is called. Ryan is extended there. Who else? Chenoweth is on the floor as well. And for Iowa, as Dr. Tom looks on,
Now that jump ball or held ball situation, Ron, that goes to the possession arrow because the ball was loose on the floor and it was ruled to be a simultaneous possession. Without McCausland in the game, the Jayhawks really dropping back in to defend the interior.
Oliver out on top. Shot clock is at 13. Game clock about to go under 10 until halftime. Oliver, the left-hander, too hard as he banks it. Gregory, who has been very effective at both ends of the floor tonight, comes down with the rebound. And Chenoweth, wow, with a staggering screen. And Bauer, I'm not so sure that didn't shake him up a little bit. He staggered for a moment there.
Now he's looking around, making sure all the pieces still are in the right places. Zone defense.
Chenoweth at 7 feet, 235, give or take a few, probably give a few. 18-footer rattles it down, and Gregory now is in double figures. He is 5 of 5.
Ron, the Iowa zone defense really has not been effective. They've given up some easy opportunities in their Luersman scores.
55% field goal shooter. Very tough kid, and then turnover to. Let's take a look at that pick just now.
Ron, one of the problems, this is in transition. There's nobody there. Everybody's running down the court, and Bauer really goes down hard.
And interesting, Tom got up and said, you know, he moved. Boy, you could see right there, Chenoweth was planted. He didn't move a muscle. Bauer did as he crumbled down.
But that's
fortunate he's okay.
That's tough in transition.
Turnovers now 7 apiece.
Oh, that is a great shot by Oliver.
Right over the top of Robertson.
He's really working hard. Again, doing a lot of dribbling, but that time got good penetration.
Robertson put on the line. They held their hands up for a three-point shot, and he missed it. But on the long carom, KU has it again at a fresh 35. Robertson, hand in the face. Gregory, and he's still perfect. 6 of 6 for him, Dan.
Boy, he did a nice job. Settle swatted at the ball, Ron. But Gregory, good quickness on the inside.
Gregory, an interesting story, bothered by a bad back off and on in 1997 and kind of struggled as far as getting his rhythm. Highly touted kid out of Columbus, Ohio. Only a sophomore, and he can be an offensive machine.
That's a tough pass. Ron, we mentioned Iowa struggling a little bit in the half-court offense, and basically when Oliver's been in the game, it's been him putting his head down and going to the basket. That's a great shot, and Gregory on the other end, just a great spin. Settles, reaches for the ball, doesn't get it, and Gregory with good quickness to get it up on the board.
Well, you could see on Oliver, I mean, Robertson was all over him, had great defensive position, and still got the shot to go. Boshi back on the lineup at the 8:32 mark. Hanging. Can't get it to go. Rucker comes down with the rebound for Iowa. Hawkeyes 5-1, and the Jayhawks are 5-1 on this young season. Fans thought there should have been a double dribble. Tommy O'Neill, our referee tonight. Dan Chrisman and Tom Rucker are the umpires. Rucker still has not scored. Settles has not scored for Iowa.
Settles hadn't really touched the ball in
no, he hasn't.
Position. And there, another great defensive effort. That's great pressure on the ball, Ron. They can't find the guys inside.
7:58 until halftime. Let's take a break. KU 6-point margin.
So it's 10 o'clock before I get to relax, and I put on the TV to see if there's anything on.
And there isn't?
That's what I thought. Then I found this show about couples.
Couples?
Yeah. Steve and I even picked up a few tips.
Where'd you see this?
On Playboy TV.
Playboy TV?
Yeah, we watch it all the time. It's not just for the guys, you know.
Black and Blue weren't having much luck making a buck, but now they're turning a truckload of cell phones.
Say hello to the first Xylophone CEO in the hood.
We open for business. Step on up, see what you want.
Into a boatload of cash. But when wires start to cross...
Hello? What? I'm not calling you.
They're gonna have to pay. I got the hookup.
Playing this month on Direct Ticket, only on Direct TV. The top rushers in college football history have all won the Heisman. Archie Griffin, Herschel Walker, Charles White, Tony Dorsett. Now, one man has passed them all. Will Ricky Williams take his place in Heisman history? Or will one of these playmakers beat him to the podium? The Heisman Trophy Award Presentation Show, Saturday at 7:30, only on ESPN.
25-19, and of course Iowa. This young man right here out of Monona, Iowa, Ray LaFrance, just graduated last year, Marmac High School, and when he left, this is senior night last year. Very emotional evening for this crowd. Second all-time scorer and rebounder in Kansas history, and that's one that the Iowa Hawkeyes would dearly love to have had, but he decided to move from Monona down here to Lawrence, Kansas, and play. Kansas getting a couple of Iowa recruits coming up this year as well.
It's a tough year for Iowa to recruit. Tom Davis in his last year, they haven't named any successor. It's hard for the kids to decide where they're going to go to school if they don't know who the coach is going to be.
Boshi shot off the mark. This is Price who's spelling him right now. Price is 6-footer out of Chicago, and it looks as though Nooner's going to be called for the foul. It'll be his first and the 6th team foul on the Jayhawks.
Ron, with Lester Earl out of the lineup for Roy Williams, his Kansas team is actually a little bit on the small side, and so this transition game that's going on tonight is really helping them, I think.
Stolen.
And great hustle like that is also helping.
Nooner, Harry the junior out of Raytown, Missouri, coming back to get the ball. Bradford fall away jumper. That's going to be well short.
Ron, and because it was well short, the Hawkeyes weren't well positioned for the rebound. And we mentioned one of the things that Dr. Tom Davis' team is suffering is that generally they do a great job out rebounding their opponents, but this year they actually have fewer rebounds than the opposition. So that's a big part of the Iowa game that seems to be missing at this point.
Bradford normally averages 9.3 a ball game. He is yet to score tonight. And Robertson, who averages 13 a game, has not gotten on the scoreboard. Nice bounce pass. Oh, London with the wraparound. Couldn't get it to go.
And that'll be Kansas ball on the alternating possession. Great penetration inside. Rucker recovers pretty well. London tries to use the rim to protect himself from Rucker. And again, there's two white shirts there battling. One Hawkeye just settles for the ball. The KU guys really flying to the ball tonight, Ron.
25-19, just under 7 to play, and inside, Pugh couldn't get it to go, lost it, and the foul is going to be on Pugh. And it's the second on him.
Pugh does a great job getting Rucker on his back, and then again tries to go underneath. Actually gets 2 shots at it, Ron, before he picks up the foul on the rebound. That was one of those little excuse me things. He was trying to step out of the way.
So he worked hard for the rebound and did not get the putback. If he gets that, he's got 2 points and still only 1 foul.
That's a shame. He did such a great job getting himself positioned on that inbounds play. Ron Rucker's finally on the board. That's his first 2.
First 60,
first 1.
Yeah, 60, I started to say.
They still only count him as 1.
Well, yeah. Oh, I know this plate has great tradition, but they don't give 2 for every free throw.
Particularly not to the visitors.
Rucker's one of those kids that, you know, when he came out of Inkster, Michigan, highly touted, and kind of went through a sophomore slump and is working his way back.
Big East in full swing there. Big victory for
Miami
Rutgers
played Kentucky very tough at Lexington last Saturday, and they win here tonight. Let's see what the discussion is.
Now we're trying to figure out what's going on. the last time that Kansas got the ball, it was the alternate possession rule, so the arrow should be pointed in the direction of Iowa. That may be what they're talking about.
Tom Rucker is the man leaning over the table.
But they just changed the possession arrow. Now, what's happened is, I thought they ruled the last one the alternating possession rule because it was a simultaneous possession, but it's now been determined that they ruled that a steal, that the defense initiated the held ball, therefore they got to turn the arrow back. I tell you what, Ron, they got to get rid of this rule. It's too complicated to try to administer. They either ought to go to the held ball and the alternating possession arrow every time, or just have a jump ball.
Boschee had it taken away by Bauer. I agree with you. Boschee defensively playing very, very tight here with 2 fouls in his first half. Dishes to Gregory and a nice job defensively, but Robertson is there to get the open pass in the first 2 for him. Oliver against Boschee. 2 guys about the same size and about the same quickness as Oliver. Was unfortunate on the shot. He's going to put up a 3.
Ron, he's taken at least twice as many shots, I think, as the rest of the Iowa team combined. He's just trying to do a little too much by himself.
Rucker fortunate he didn't get it over the back on that play. Under 6 minutes until halftime. KU by 6. And as we talked about just a moment ago, is it's going to be a 3-second violation. Well, coming up tomorrow, double dip on ESPN at 7:30. It is Florida against number 3 Duke, and then followed at 9:30 Eastern time, number 1 UConn against UMass. It's the Mass Mutual U game. So Florida Duke and Connecticut and Massachusetts tomorrow night, 7:30 and 9:30 here on ESPN.
Ron Roy Williams troops up by 6 points in the game, and they've actually done pretty well making it a transition game, the kind of game that with this little bit smaller team they should be very successful.
22 Jeff Carey, a redshirt freshman, in the lineup for KU, and gets scored over. That's 7 points now for Jakes.
Boy, Jakes comes right down the court, Ron, runs down the court and gets the rebound.
Big fella out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We talked about him. Averages 7 a game.
Nice job to cut off McCausland.
Boschee. Running jumper and knocks it down. 5 points for him now. I think once he gets into a comfort zone, this young man is, the crowd already loves him. As at the other end of the floor, number 11 is Jason Price, and he went right through traffic and got the shot to go down.
Maybe the point guards are supposed to dribble it that much, Ron, but both he and Oliver have.
Boschee got the friendly bounce and roll. Now all of a sudden with 8 points. Boschee said he just wasn't at Valley City, North Dakota. He didn't get that much pressure, man on man. And of course he's getting it here in college. And now Jakes going after the ball to hit Boschee in the eye.
Boschee has been moving the ball forward in this transition game for Kansas most of the night, but gets the nice bounce for the 3-point basket. Now he's trying to make sure that he can still see to the end of the court after getting knocked in the nose.
There's Billy Thomas, one of the 3 that we talked about departed. You know, when you lose 54 points out of your offense, as good as this school recruits and replenishes, that's something that takes a while to get a new system going.
Well, they got young guys who are trying to fill in those roles. You know, you had Jock Vaughn, and when he went, LaFrance was stepped right in. He was a sophomore at the time, and he'd had some experience, and then Pierce was right behind him. And
well, the makeup of this team right now, they're 4 seniors, 4 juniors, 2 sophomores, and 4 freshmen. That foul a while ago, by the way, on Jakes was his first, and it's 5 team fouls on the Hawkeyes. Robertson running jumper. Won't go off the front iron, and Chenoweth with a push. First one on him. TJ Pugh immediately off the bench.
Iowa has not done a very good job on the offensive boards, but for the most part on their defensive boards, they've done a nice job blocking out, and Jakes with great position that time forced the foul.
TJ Pugh, as we mentioned, back in the ball game, and Chenoweth will sit for a bit. Jeff Carey.
There's Range with a great offensive rebound. The Hawkeyes have not gotten too many second opportunities this evening.
Range back to Lursman. He dished it off. They thought he was going to shoot, and he just turned it over. Boshi.
That is a very quick trigger right there, Ron.
Biggest lead of the night, 35-25.
Nice move by Koch down on the baseline. They really haven't gotten very much from their big guys inside.
J.R. Koch with the easy hoop, and that is a very unselfish dish by Pugh, and it not only got him a two-pointer, but a foul against Iowa.
Ron, the Iowa Hawkeyes are a team that likes to run, that likes to press, but their press has been totally ineffective tonight. Kansas has just shredded the thing. A great pass by Robertson to Pugh in the middle, and he sees Gregory over on the side, and that's Gregory's 5th basket directly out of the transition situation.
14 points for Gregory. And as I mentioned, TJ Pugh could have taken that shot. That was very, very unselfish on his part. Price picks up his first foul and 16 fouls on Iowa. Koch with the rebound. 37-27, about to go under 3 minutes until halftime. Range unfortunate on the roll, and the following side.
That's just Settles.
And Settles with his first 2 of the night.
And they get it off an offensive rebound, Ron, but now here's the pressure again, and Kansas beats it easily and is up in the offensive zone quickly once again.
Carey back over to London. Gregory, nice look to Carey, reverse jumper. Carey with the follow, again with the follow, and it's going to be Koch over the back. That's great hustle on the board.
Ron, it is, but we talked about the Hawkeyes of Iowa, how that during the 12 years that Tom Davis has been the coach, they have led the Big Ten in rebound margin, but they're getting punished tonight. Well, a couple of blocked shots, and they just simply cannot recover the ball.
Koch, it's 2 fouls on him. The other thing that they always have such a distinctive margin on, and that is free throws. In fact, this year, 172-93 for the opposition by Iowa. And in this ball game tonight, that has not been the situation. They are 8 of 10, and KU 0 of 3. Well, I take it back. The margin is still up for Iowa. Sneaky, but it's there. 38-29. KU leads. Let's take a break.
Come on, Lee! Make believe I just assaulted your mama. Make believe I just called you collect without using 1-800-COLLECT.
Hey, but it's 10 cents a minute every evening with 1-800-COLLECT. 1-800-COLLECT. 10 cents a minute.
By the end of the week, 7 more lives will be saved. By the end of the day, 16 people who couldn't walk will. By the end of the hour, these special filters will help make 25,000 more gallons of water ready for drinking. And by the end of this message, 1 more premature baby will be protected. All of which is made possible with the help of a material we call plastic.
If you're going to create electricity, use it. The Seiko Kinetic Watch. electrically charged every time you move your body.
You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time.
Bold yet very smooth. Beaulieu Vineyard Wines. 100 years of passionate winemaking.
38-29. Recognize that young man, Scott Pollard, who was here at KU a couple of years ago, holding Lolly, the newest addition to their family. By the way, let's take a look at ESPN.com news and notes. Who's Mike Miller? Want to find out? We'll log on to ESPN.com and read about this outstanding freshman who is leading Florida in scoring.
Ron, Iowa has hung in this basketball game despite the fact that Kansas has been very effective offensively, and I think for the Hawkeyes, they really need to get something going on offense themselves. They have not been very efficient on offense. A lot of dribbling, a lot of standing around.
Almost stolen. They hold on to it. Iowa's bench is outscoring the starters 15-14 right now.
Offensive foul.
Well, coming up on the Courtyard by Marriott halftime report, Bill Pito is there. Indiana and Kentucky highlights in overtime, Big 12 action, and Wally's World. Bill Pito will tell you all about that. Under 2 minutes to play until halftime, and it's 38-29.
Iowa stays in the zone defense.
Carey with the hook. Not there, and the follow by London. Surprised that he did not tip it when he was up there the first time instead of coming down and going back up. But he got the 2, and he now has 4 points.
And another offensive rebound. Iowa, you're just not used to seeing them hurt on the boards if they have been hurt in this first half. And there, Carey's going to pick up the foul. Koch really good with that up and under move. The pump fake up and then ducks under. Koch scored on one like this just a few moments ago, but there's the pump fake, and Carey leaves his feet. You got to stay on your feet. And commits the foul.
First foul on Carey, 9th team foul against the Jayhawks. Only 4 assists for Iowa in this first half, 13 for KU.
It tells you how the teams have been playing, Ron.
Warren and Carol Koch, JR's parents, down here to see this ball game. A lot of people wearing the Iowa colors here tonight, sitting, in fact, in the area around us. Ooh, almost threw an air ball there. Bauer comes away with the carom.
I would like to get McCausland loose from three-point range as well, but they'll take Koch on the inside. Nice play.
Koch now with 7 points. And stolen. Oliver, and the easy 2 points by Koch. And Roy Williams is not a very happy guy right now, I can tell you.
That's the first Kansas turnover against the press, though, Ron.
Jake's actually 9 points for him. You can see under a minute in this first half is Gregory. They work it back outside. Ryan Robertson nails the 3. 5 points for Ryan.
Shot clock off. That's great defense. And Iowa asks for a 20-second timeout. Ron, that three-point basket by Robertson was really a sort of a crushing play for Tom Davis's Hawkeyes. They were back within 6.
Well, Sunday night, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. Sunday Night Football. It's an AFC matchup between the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins. And then on ABC Sports, Monday Night Football at 8 Eastern, Barry Sanders and the Lions taking on this guy, Steve Young, and the 49ers, who are 10-3. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for prime-time NFL football. And the standings in the East, 9-4. Both the Jets and Miami, so showdown time at 8-5. New England and Buffalo each, with Indianapolis in the cellar.
Man-to-man for Kansas.
Tossed it back in traffic, and KU comes away with it and gets the shot off at an opportunity. But we are at halftime, and as they head to the locker room, it is Kansas 43 and Iowa 34. Right now, let's send it to Bill Pito with the Courtyard by Marriott halftime report.
All right, Ron, thank you. Much to come on the halftime report, including a look at a great game between Kentucky and Indiana.
As the pilot flies through the night sky, the helmsman steers a course that is true. The landing signal officer checks the approach. The weather crew keeps an eye on the storm. The air traffic controller directs every move. The air boss orders a clear deck. The captain gives the final word. And the plane safely lands on board USS Enterprise. In the Navy, no journey is ever made alone. Call 1-800-USA-NAVY. Let the journey begin.
For great advice about digital technology, head for Circuit City. If you're looking for a DVD player, make sure you choose one with DivX. Only DVD players with DivX play both DVD and DivX movie discs. DivX lets you watch movies at home for about what it costs to rent, but you never have to return movies or pay late fees. This RCA DVD player with DivX is only $399.99 and get any 5 DivX movies free after rebate. Plug into DivX at Circuit City.
9-point lead at halftime for the homestanding Jayhawks of Kansas. And I have a feeling that Dr. Tom Davis at halftime said offensive boards, let's see what else, turnovers. Anyway, there were a number of areas that they got whipped in the first half they normally don't.
They sure did. You usually don't see Iowa out-rebounded, particularly on the offense, their own defensive boards. You also don't see them play quite so poorly in transition. This is the first half in capsule. A tough shot by Dean Oliver. But then as they start up the court, look here, this is Ryan Robertson. And watch these 3 guys right here. Iowa's got 3 guys back. 1, 2, 3. But Ron, watch where these guys go and watch what happens at the end of the play. In transition defense, you've got to stop the ball and you've got to find the other guys. All 3 Iowa guys go to the same side of the floor. Robertson is all alone and he lays it in. As I say, that's the first half in capsule. Kansas is shooting 51% because they're getting great opportunities. You can see the Jayhawks with 11 offensive rebounds, and they forced 14 turnovers. And boy, Ron, have they cashed them in.
Well, you know, I got that reversed and looking at the stats in reversed in the first half. But at the free throw line, you take those 9 points away, they'd be out of this thing almost.
Boy, they sure would be, Ron. The Jayhawks have attempted 11 more shots. The Jayhawks have 14 assists with their 19 field goals.